Yeah, if you guys are waiting, don't worry. We're about to be on in just a second. Pull up, let us know. What have you thought about tonight's UFC BJJ event? Talk to us in the comment section if you are here. If you are waiting to see my face, you'll see it momentarily. You can see me moving around. See, look at that. My giant head's moving. That means you'll see me in just a second. But until then, tell us what you've been enjoying about tonight's UFC BJJ event, if you've been enjoying it. And if you haven't, that's cool too. Don't worry about it. We got lots to talk about here tonight. Plus, we will take your questions. We will be talking with you guys, and we will be enjoying ourselves this evening. But in the meantime, as Mikey Musumeci is about to make his way into the Taco Bowl, we ask you guys the most important question. What have you been thinking about tonight's event? Talk to us. We will see you in just a few seconds. In the meantime, get a beer, grab something to talk about, and let us know what you're thinking about tonight's big event, UFC BJJ, coming to you right now. And in the comment section, I've heard somebody call him Mean Mikey. Not quite sure what that means, but I think we'll find out together. Here we go. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. I'm going to stop counting now. Let's do this. What is up, ladies and gents? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Rafa Sparza, coming to you right now as we watch the main event of UFC BJJ. I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm having a so-so day. You know, we've been busy, we've been doing stuff, and we want to say to you guys, part of the reason we decided to go on live today, not only to just do this, not only to say what's up and check in with you guys, but also to say a big thank you to everybody who has made the show possible, because this, fam, is our official 7-year anniversary. We started the Grappling Hour 7 years ago, so this is an impressive thing that we get to share with you guys, and I truly appreciate you guys for being around this long. So we will be celebrating here together, but tonight there's some big stuff going on right now. We've definitely got a Mikey Musumeci, Kevin Carrasco coming at you live over at the Bowl in the UFC Apex Center. We'll watch this one, and then I'll take any questions, thoughts, concerns, hints, allegations that you guys have in the comment section, because I didn't see most of this event. I've been keeping up with some of the results, but I chose to enjoy a little bit of today. You know, normally it's always work. But today I said, why don't we go ahead and enjoy ourselves, Rafa Sparza? This is, after all, the 7-year anniversary of the Grappling Hour, so we can afford to take a day off. And it turns out, I think a lot of you guys also took this one off. I am only seeing 34,000 people watching it concurrently on the UFC YouTube. Now, granted, this is kind of in the same vein as people who have been saying that they didn't see a ton of heat for this weekend's UFC pay-per-view event. So might be that the UFC's kind of leveling out right now toward the end of the year. It's hard to say. What's up, Driz11? Good to see you guys. All right, here we go. We are starting right off in the middle of the bowl. Mikey Musumeci goes to shake a hand and goes up with this karate kick. God, dude. This is honestly so terrible. I don't want to see him do this all the time. This wax on, wax off thing that he does is so annoying. Like, because it's your main event dude, and he's literally coming in like Daniel LaRusso, but even lazier. We want this sport to succeed, and this is the dude we've got. Is what it is. Mikey is now on the ground, so he's able to get to the ground without having to really connect or do too much with it. And he is scooping his way. Carrasco's picking at the legs. And just as a reminder, you guys, like, Mikey was making the case that this is a dude that is worthy of taking him on right now. So We're trying to hear him at his word, but this is not exactly the most exciting play action that you can start with. But nonetheless, here we are. As a reminder, these are for, I think, is this a 3 or a 5 rounder? Ugh, we might be here for a minute. In the past, Mikey sometimes takes a minute to get started, and understandably so. This is, it's a tough thing. You don't want to lose. He has an underhook here on the leg of Carrasco. Carrasco really doesn't want to give this up because the minute Mikey locks down on a leg, we could be going home. So maybe that discussion of him taking a minute to rev up might have been a little bit too early. However, Mikey misses some opportunity there, and in doing so, Carrasco takes advantage of that opportunity. So this is a wild thing. Carrasco's hip movement doing very well in shutting down Mikey's advancements, but Mikey again trying to get an underhook on that leg. Mikey was going for what he refers to as the Mikey lock. What's up, Lou the Abstract? And it's basically just a more different version of something that you have seen in the past that he has rebranded for his own purposes. So I see freestyle martial arts UFC BJJ is such a joke. Ugh, yeah. I mean, listen, this is not super exciting, but the impetus of tonight is that we're hoping that Kevin Carrasco can give us something a little bit more exciting to look at. It is kind of wild because I went to school with a Kevin Carrasco, so there was a split second where I thought, what 44-year-old are they sending to get slaughtered against Mikey Musumeci? Because that's kind of how this stuff works. We don't ever get a good opponent for him. We just kind of get some folks that they tell us are going to be great competitors against him, and Mikey's already got him on a heel hook. He has attacked him, and we're done. Blissfully done. Okay, we were just in the process of saying that every time they do this, they talk up the credentials of the opponent, and it's not really to take away from the opponent, but honestly, for somebody Mikey's level, there's only so many people that we can talk about being real competition for him. If Mikey's able to finish him in 2 minutes, it's not exactly the most captivating television, but this is your marquee star. So it's a lot of us kind of wondering, how do we make this thing work? And if you're the UFC, I think you're happy that he's getting finishes. I just think that there's so much riding on this big investment that they keep talking about that you kind of want them to be a little bit more competitive rounds. I'll start by asking this. Did you guys see any other big things tonight from the event that made it fun or good to watch? Because in this one, Mikey essentially had the beginnings of like a knee bar here, switches it over, then goes into his Mikey lock, which is basically just hugging his neck against a person's shin and extending it out for a knee bar. It puts torque on the leg and basically kills it. Somebody in the comments said snapped his leg. I mean, possibly. I think that is kind of the tide you have to pay to do this sort of a thing. Is you have to just become one with knowing, well, your leg is going to die. So as you guys are here in the comment section with me, we're going to probably stay on for a little bit and discuss some of the results from tonight's big thing. Mikey basically told him, he waves it off, says not me, and points to God. So there is that. And they present him with the world's dumbest looking belt. It's still like, it's so hard to get behind this. Now Mikey doesn't know where he's supposed to go for an interview. They just ask him, how proud are you of yourself? So he dedicates it to Tylenol. There's your autism joke. No. So Mikey has said now he's kind of conceding the fact that people have done it probably in the past, but he's saying that in this era he is the guy hitting it, so he gets to call it what he wants. Interviewer asks, "How dangerous are you?" So Mikey says he now has kind of cured his anxiety from one event to the other. Well, he hasn't cured it, but he was less stressed out on this one. And it says he's a usual chipper person and it takes him a while to get comfortable in these surroundings. They ask him what he wants to do next, and he says he'll head back to training. You just call out one of the Meow Brothers? All right. Well, you know what's so weird is sometimes they remind us that Mikey is 29 years old, and I don't know that I need those reminders. All right. They asked him if he had an opponent in mind, and they said, "Is there anybody you want to call out?" And he is like, "No." And I think the real answer is they just don't have anybody for him right now. So that thus he's calling out a Zhao Miao, which he was saying he had a match against him years ago, and he'd love to have a new one now. Sure, you know what? Whatever. I don't think we have a ton of really great options for him, at least not in the UFC. It's not to say that they don't exist. And Mikey is a very formidable talent. It's just this is not must see TV. You know, I made the right choice to not watch a little bit earlier. So I think me taking a few tonight off to go enjoy myself was probably the best choice. But if you're joining us on TikTok, what's up? My name's Rafa Sparza. We were watching UFC BJJ number 3. You know, I've watched the other ones live. I've been interested in seeing how this one would play if I didn't watch it live. And, you know, not super. I didn't really feel like I missed much, but I did see there were a couple highlights from this evening. So I'm definitely going to kind of skim through those right now. I know they're showing them on the live broadcast, but I'm going to take a minute to actually stem through them myself. But as I am about to kind of cycle through them, I would love it for you guys to throw me your reactions, your thoughts, your feelings about tonight's big card, UFC BJJ 3. If you're in the comment section, let me know which match you liked the best. And if you're here to have some discussion on this, and perhaps you've seen what has already happened, I would love to hear your thoughts on what needs to happen next. And in this side, Carlos Henriquez is still your UFC BJJ champ, which, if memory serves me right, he was the gentleman that lost to Mikey Musumeci at the very beginning for UFC. No, I don't even remember. No, I don't think so. Wait, Carlos Henriquez. Good Lord. Nonetheless, let's go through this together. I'm going to go ahead right now and rewind all the way back to the beginning. We're going to skim through the very beginning of the event, and I will do so with the ability to not have to watch the whole event, which is going to be blissful. We're going to start right up top at the very beginning of the card. And if you guys want to follow along, I'll tell you exactly where I'm at every given moment. But I did see a couple results. I would love to see them with you guys here. And you know, an interesting thing that I have discovered as I've started doing more research about this is that I discovered that they actually have all the names on Smooth Comp. So similar to when you watch the PGF, they have all the names and the results on Smooth Comp, so you can kind of follow along. So if I'm looking through right now, this is Jalen Foncier, who is part of the Cobrinha team. And right now I'm watching him take on Pedro Nakano. So it's a 20-year-old versus a 22-year-old. Very similar in height and weight, essentially. 134 on the weight. And then you've got Pedro Nakano that has a little bit of a height advantage. So we're going to kind of breeze through some of these. What's up, Phil Esperanza? It's been a minute, man. How have you been? This is painful to watch. So is it me or the actual UFC BJJ? Because I'm not quite sure here, Roberto. If you're talking about me, I would say probably go rewatch UFC BJJ and then, have some words with me, Roberto. But you do you. All right. Let's go to that. They just reset me on my clock. All right. In any event, you guys, the UFC. Thank you, Roberto. I thought at one point you were going to be me. So, Roberto, what I would love to know is why was it so hard to watch? Because I have my feelings, and I don't want them to be representative or misrepresenting anybody's feelings here. But I did get a sense that it was an okay one to miss. Minus, I stayed for the main event. I actually did watch that one. But there was no compelling thing that made me drop everything. Instead of watching, full disclosure, I watched English Teacher from FX. It's a show. If you don't watch it, please do. It's phenomenal. I'm very happy with my choice tonight to watch a sitcom that is very funny because it was time better spent. And there are a couple results I can say that I'm at least happy to know that I know the result for it. But okay, so it just reset because I ended the broadcast. But now I am back on here and it says UFC BJJ commentary is doo-doo garbage. I got nothing for that one. Brian, you can say that one. It says, the last one pleasantly surprised me. Okay, Roberto. That's a start. I like that. I can't tell you that I was compelled to watch either one of them heavily. But, hey, listen, we try to support everybody here. I just didn't feel that one was one that I needed to miss, and I was glad to just kind of follow along on that one. I think I watched it in the car as I was driving back and forth. But, this one I didn't necessarily feel like I needed to do. Oh my God, it keeps resetting on me. So I'm trying to watch this event, and it literally is reset every time I go back to try to call up that first match. It's the give and take because they get you to the very beginning and then they let you watch like the first few seconds and then they reset it. So I'm going to pull it up on my Fight Pass. This should make things a little bit easier. And it says, the most entertaining thing about today was the live chat. Yeah, I heard some things about the live chat. Not going to lie. I heard there was a lot of dumb people in the chat. Roberto, if you would be so kind, I will indulge you letting me know what kind of nonsense were we missing tonight. My boy. Oh, okay. So we're off to the races on this first one. So I finally have pulled up Jalen. And this is Fight Sports Team. Okay, cool. Jalen Foncier on the other side against Pedro Nakano. This is round one. So when you were watching it though, what were people saying in the comment section that made it so wild? Because to me, I try to keep an eye on that as I do these things. And just even in that main event, there were some people who were very angry. Some excellent fast work here by these smaller gentlemen, Jalen and Pedro, working very, very fast. Pedro in on a knee bar real quick. Pedro triangling the legs that may not serve him for too long. But now back in, I think, 50-50 at this point. Jalen Foncier, I did see him a little bit earlier, so I do know the end result to this one. So I, like you, if you did watch it, kind of know exactly what happened here, but I do want to see how it happened. And Jalen Foncier, very impressive. Now in on a heel hook, kind of loses the grip, but now with a reap over, gets it very quickly. Yikes. Well done there. A Cobrinha team member getting it done very quickly up top. This is way more fun to do it this way. All right, let's move. The comments were obviously not bots. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Let me see if this one... Yeah, okay. Sorry about that, Roberto. Your comments are meant to be bigger on this show, so I was wondering why. I was like, oh, I'm just in the wrong screen. Okay. All right, so we started off on the first one. I'm going to move now to the second match, which is going to be a ladies' match. This one is between Shea Lily and Anna Mayordomo. Anna Mayordomo in the blue, Shea in the red up top, playing, man, very nicely, aggressively. Is it Shy or Shea? My apologies. Sometimes I just pick a pronunciation and stick with that. You know, if the comments weren't bots today, I think that's progress. I did notice at the end for the main event, they had about 34,000 folks watching concurrently, which I don't think means they're going to be breaking 1 million again. If they do, it might be a lie. Just saying. I think they're going to announce it's probably like 1.5 if they announce anything. There's also apparently a press conference that goes on tonight. All right, Anna playing up top, trying to move the legs around. 4 minutes, 5 seconds left to go. Messing with the head, fasting back and forth, finding her way through. Gets in on an attack on the leg. Might be just a smidge late, but now putting a little bit of pressure. She is a little bit higher than she needs to be, but at least it's a good start. Lily is in trouble here, especially if you can get Anna to kind of bump her down on her hip. She's now trying to control the arm as a means of pushing her onto that said hip. Doesn't quite get there yet. Brings it over for a reap. Now that's probably going to help Anna a lot. Anna doesn't quite get to finishing it. May opt to come up on top instead and doesn't quite hit the timing, but maybe in on a choke. Has a front headlock. Lose that. Moving forward. Roberto. It feels forced, a gatekeeping event arranged by agents, and a lot of gi fighters forced into no gi. You know, Roberto, you bring up a good concept, though. That's the show I want to see. I want to see the behind the scenes of telling a gi practitioner, we'll put you on the show, but you have to do no gi. And then seeing them look at you like, wait, what? No, you're not, sir. I said, no, thank you. It says Anna is a blackberry and the other lady is a blue. Come on. I'm not sure what we're saying here, Roberto, but thank you very much for that. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left to go in this first round of action between them. Almost pass up here. And of course, black belt. Thank you. You legitimately had me thinking, is there something I don't know? When you put a blackberry, but yes, to your point, just so you understand, it changes the way I perceive the note when you're like, she's a blackberry, and I go, a phone? A fruit? What are we saying here? A black belt. Yes, Anna is a black belt, and the other lady is a blue. I mean, Anna also trains with some of the best people in the world. So, like, what are you going to do? You almost want them to be a blue belt so that you can get usually some kind of highlight reel off of it. I think that's what this all is. it feels like some of these people are getting sold a townhome or a timeshare, and we're watching the sales pitch like, hey, you seem like you could take on a black belt. See, I saved myself there. I didn't say blackberry. Thought about it, didn't do it. Professional. Somebody's been doing this for more than 7 years, although it is 7-year anniversary of the Grappling Hour. Thank you for joining us. 46 seconds left in round number 1, and Anna, looking like it is a mean day at business, gets this armbar and immediately smacks the mat out of pride. Yeah, Roberto, I see what you're saying here. Yeah. So here's how I think about it. I think on paper, we're just trying to get opponents for these people. And then when we see that savage armbar that Anna hits to finish out the match, we all have this look at each other like, right, what did we think was going to happen? Shit. She could have died. Anyway, let's move on. Going to our third match. You know, it's very funny. It appears my students have been sent their assignments for Naga competition this weekend, so they just saw their results. Andy Varela, who's getting part of his beard back on his face, which thank God, man. Because let's be honest, I saw what Andy Varela looks like without the beard. It's not great for TV. Now listen, Andy's in shape. Mostly good TV whenever he competes. Sometimes even interesting TV when he is not competing. But on a live broadcast, not that we would know. But you have two PGF folks here, Daniel Slather and Andy Varela. This is a good one. And it said, the best comment in the live chat was that the belt was made by Hasbro. Did I tell you? I've got one that tops that, but it doesn't come from me. It comes from my former Vrobel Tap co-host, Kevin Phillips, who said it looked like a condom worn by Optimus Prime. So we're in the same kind of realm, but that is why Kevin is an esteemed joke writer, and the internet comment section is what it is. I also know the result of this one because Andy is a friend of the show, so I definitely was keeping tabs on it. And I will send some thanks out. I do appreciate when I find out that some of our jiu-jitsu people tweet like old people, because I just saw Cody Steele in the crowd operating his phone like this, and it was killing me. Roberto says, I am grateful for who's number 1, Polaris CGI after this. Yeah, sometimes it takes a certain kind of broadcast to really make you appreciate what you got. Andy Varela already with the beautiful timing here. Slather is in trouble. He's got to build his base back, but this front headlock be strong. Andy looking to try to utilize it. Slather actually kind of moves his way around. He hasn't quite fully addressed the 2-on-1 on the hands, but Andy looks at a Darce possibly, doesn't quite get it. Now is thinking RKO. I'm wondering if it is actually going to be... It looks like the Greleva. That's actually an acceptable answer as well, Roberto, so I appreciate that. And listen, I don't know that there's a wrong answer on any of these things. I think we could just open it up on what the fuck do you guys think this looks like? It looked like this. It looked like bad. Whatever you think it is, it's just bad. That's what it is. All right, both gentlemen are back on the feet right now. Andy Varela with a mean-ass snap down. Oh, my God. It's so fucking... It's concerning is what it is. Every time I see Andy Varela just back in the fucking game, it is concerning. Ooh, nice. It was a good double read by Daniel, actually. I like that. He got lower. Andy wasn't fully prepared for it, but didn't get anywhere close to getting taken down. Shoves him. Andy moves over to the close. I think this is where I pick up on what happens. Andy actually pushed him up the ramp. That's pretty good. So most people, when they kind of get pushed around, they use that back ramp to kind of spring forward. Andy just shucked him up pretty nicely there. Well done. 2 hands on the back of the head once again here for Andy Varela. It's at the 255 mark. He's shaping him down, trying to get some kind of read off of it. Shifting the arms, pushing back and forth. And at this point, Daniel Sather hasn't really put any offense in yet. Andy's now starting to claw like a cat. And the referee just right on schedule, warning him, hey, bud, can you not? It would really mean a lot if we could keep this with 2 gentlemen just playing it as true gentlemen. Daniel actually tried pushing Andy there. I think that's when Andy starts to respect you, so I have to admire that quality. I think if I ever actually end up rolling with Andy, I'm just going to just push him around. Wow, Daniel came with a collar tie, and man, you know what? Hold on. The referee comes up to both of the gentlemen and says, hey, can you guys get your collar ties under control because they're a little too aggressive? And this is what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know how many of those I got in me if I'm rolling with Andy Varela. It says, definitely appreciate the timeshare comment. A free breakfast in 3 hours, upsell, no value, and client retention. I think so. I'm just letting you know. I have recently put out the theory that I think all of jiu-jitsu is a pyramid scheme. More on that in a second. Andy Varela grabbing on the bicep here. Collar tie, way more nice. Ooh, that was probably the best timing here from Dea Sather, who got Andy to bite on touching part of the knee. Goes to react. Doesn't get too much time off of it. Andy's loose, relaxed. I mean, Daniel probably knows in a round like this, he's a little bit behind. Tries to 2-on-1 the hands while they're standing up. Nothing doing there. And it says, it was like watching an open mat between the AM and PM class. That's fair. That is fair. I like that comment a lot. You know, once my kids at the gym, they were trying to challenge. I teach the night class, obviously, night owl. And the early class was chirping at the late class. And they're like, we're going to take you guys on. And I thought, oh, I think that's a mistake, children. You don't want me to strategize against you. Unfortunately, it never came to that, but I was really hoping that my PM class could beat up the AM kids. And then they all got injured, but they were still talking trash. So, like, imagine, like, your arms in a sling, and you're like, you just wait. And I go, how long? It seems like it's going to take a minute here, dude. All right, 15 seconds left in round number 1. Kolabate there. Looks like this one goes to a second round. Some maneuvering on the head, nothing doing. Andy nicely shucks him off. All right. I can fast forward all of this. Beautiful. We go to round number 2. Already 4:36 on this clock. I see some familiar friends. I see Andy. I see Brady. That's an aggressive guard pull here by Daniel Sather, who is a very, very solid guard, by the way. An incredible, incredible guard. Very happy to see him try to make use of it. And him getting this position is actually great for him. So, do like that one. What the hell? Like, so right now I'm actually seeing a transcript in the closed captioning of what they are saying. And I think they were trying to say something as common as, I think Andy's ahead on the points from that first round. And it read like some sort of weird Elizabethan language of, I believe he transpired the more points. And I go, what? No, just he's ahead, dude. Just say that. We don't need to get like that. Close guard action, 340. Round 2. Sather grabbing both the arms, trying to push him down. Andy has some control, looks for just a second to pass, gets put back into the guard. Sather, who's got an excellent triangle, tries to shoot it up. Andy doesn't quite bite, but now he's got a knee on the inside. That's a pretty aggressive knee, so he's going to probably use that to help him open up the guard here in a second. But, I mean, the weird part about that knee placement it is right in the goods. So, It's a dangerous proposition if you're on bottom, because if you aggressively pull the person in, you're basically bringing them into the midsection. I don't think you want to do that. 256, still left to go in the second round. Andy gets all the way back up, pushes Slather, who jumps off the top rope there at him. If memory serves me right, I think Sathler is one of the individuals who had a flying attack like Rey Mysterio Jr. for a triangle, got powerbombed, but still finished the triangle. And I think that was at Karate Combat. Could be wrong. And the commentators were just justifying this was fighting and not game/match. Dean Thomas is the only legit commentator. Yeah, I think Dean needs a driver in this conversation. I don't really see somebody who's a driver. So that's my big issue. Good Lord. Some of these shucks by Andy are so mean. I mean, I'm just impressed. Like, it's hard to move people at all. But the way he's able to move people is always something that greatly impresses me. Because it's shit that I think in my head I can do. What's up, Bartender Eddie? Good to see you, man. 130 left to go, round number 2. Good snap downs here. Man, just the way that Andy is on the neck, I think that really gives you lower back problems in the near future. But to his credit, Daniel's been a good dance partner here with him. It's definitely been playing really well. This shuck and then the back take that I saw. Okay, this brings me to the clip I saw online. Rear naked choke finish. Andy's got time to play it up to the audience, but this is tight. Now, Andy essentially growling to get the finish. And Slather kind of realizing he's short on time. He's trying to pull off the arms. Andy rechambers it now with a body triangle. This is game, set, and wrap for one Andy Varela, who gets it done. Celebrates. Daniel, very, very emotion-filled at the end of it. Andy playing it up, gets there. What's up, Mark? Good to see you. I do want to hear what Andy had to say afterwards. Andy says UFC BJJ is here to say, it's in Vegas. Yeah, he's not saying anything important. I'll give you a synopsis of what Andy says in Andy voice. Hold on. I have to get nasally on this one. There are adjustments in the second round that I did that were so good. I'm always going to try and bully everybody because I need to win to bring home money to my cats. It's nothing personal against anybody. We were just scrapping for fun. And, I love to do what I do. Andy Varela, everybody. It says, Andy Varela is a beast. Yes, he is. And a great friend of the show. It looked like some of the contenders were born in the Octobowl for the first time. I'm not sure what I want to do with that. I know Andy gets a finish here. So rather than watch the full match, I'm just going to go to when he gets his finish. Because I know that happens and no reason to waste everybody's time here. I want to look just at the Kimura he gets. Because on the clip I saw online, Andy was taking on Chris Olivo. And there's 50 seconds left, round number 3. He's in mount. Bring it up on the arm. Beautiful transition into kind of this crucifix, pinning that leg with his knee. He's got the arm isolated, thought about the triangle here, kind of rechambers it back up. Now has Chris Olivo all the way over the side. He's going to chamber this 1, 2. He's thinking about it one more time. That knee is positioned all the way out, and he brings it up and around with just 22 seconds left to go in the third and final round. Andy got it done. So it was a good day for Andy's back-to-back. Big win for Andy Morawski here. He's been fun to watch. I've been hoping he gets a bigger and bigger platform. Let's see what he had to say. Yeah, so Roberto, this comment that you've got here, it looked like some of the contenders were in the Octoball for the first time. Yes. It's tough, dude. The Octoball, I think, is an unnatural thing. Holy shit, was Roberto in a suit? I like that the interviewer didn't wait for Andy to get his way over to the interview. She's just like, I'm going to ask you a question now. Andy said, I was really looking to start in the first round, but is what it is. Chris is super tough, and he has a lot of respect for him, blah, blah, blah. And he's happy he got the sub tonight. So Andy's calling out the other Andy that just won before him. And he said, let's see who's the better Andy. Adorable. I like that one. All right. That was Andy's match. I think I know the result of this one too, but let's go with Jensen Gomez versus Gustavo Batista. Just to point things out for you guys, the efficiency of this show, I have been on the air for 42 minutes, and I have already gotten through, I want to say, half of the card, and we did the main event. So hopefully you are much happier with your choice to watch with us, because there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 matches I have not watched. Okay. Oh, right. Carlos Enriquez won UFC BJJ. Brain fart. Sorry about that, you guys. I was like, why did he beat Mikey? No, he was on one of the teams. Got it. Took me a minute. It feels like UFC BJJ when it happened in June. Because it happened in a week, there's no way my long-term memory has any part of that. And I'm usually pretty good about remembering stuff, but that's one of those things that I go, why does he have this belt? All right. Took me a minute. All right, 3:33 in this match. Left to go. This is round 1. Batista, Gomez. Gotta turn this down just so you guys understand how annoying this is with the UFC departments. They have in the past taken down videos that show no video on my video, but it picked up part of the audio. And part of the audio is I'm trying to hear how bad their commentators are so that we can hopefully give a note or two. And granted, we won't always know what to say since we're doing this, but somebody's been doing it for a long time. I feel pretty confident about my stuff. Samurai Nagai gave one of the best performances, waiting for that one. And it says Cassia Mora with the next generation elite guard passing. Yes, very excited for those. Those are kind of on my excitement list. But I have to say, for Gomez and Batista, I'm happy with the movement thus far in. At one point, I thought I almost clocked a... I almost clocked a... Wait. Give a note or a dissertation? Great question. Oh my God. On that one, Batista was getting all the way up on the edge, went for like a jump in an action movie. Ended up almost just kind of getting thrown. I don't want to say a Batista bomb because that would be cliche, but does make all use of this bowl. And if I'm a photographer, I'm being a little more careful with my camera there. And it says the commentary sounds like they got ChatGPT bot to sit next to Dean Thomas. Yeah, it's pretty good. I can't lie. That one's actually pretty good. I like that. All right. This continues to be something that we are watching. Okay. A duck doesn't get down, lowers the level, stuffs it. Batista does. Now back on the feet, pummeling between both these gentlemen. Minute 4, a push over by Gomez. Clasp on the head. There's almost a Muay Thai-esque grip. Utilizing, pulling down on the neck, pummeling once again on the arms. Another push by Gomez. Batista looking like somebody from a horror movie, just pressing forward. And a lot of action on just pulling on the neck here is really what we're looking at. Not even necessarily wrestling as much as just aggressive neck fighting. Yeah, dude, the person who has both a camera and a phone, no thank you. Not at all. If I have people of their size who have already demonstrated they will climb on parts of the bowl, I'm picking one. Because you might get both. They get screwed up. So, there is that. Some pulling down on the neck yet again. And they're going to call them for the end of the first round. Let's jump ahead. No time wasting. And we get right back to it. A shove here by Batista at 4:49. And a shove back by Gomez. I mean, really, this just feels like the championships of grip fighting on the neck. So I'm just there was something of action here. So I literally pressed go ahead 30 seconds because I wanted to forge to something, and they ended up on the ground. So I rewound it. My mistake. I should have let him play it out. But the beautiful thing of watching this stuff in the later parts is that a little bit of a mistake by Gomez ends up giving Batista the ability to whirly-burly around. Now they're at a judo throw against the edge of the bowl, and Gomez makes the most of it with a spine buster. And now is going to get some time to work. It says that these boys are 185. For sure, yesterday they were 185. Today, not so sure what they are. Don't feel like it's 185, I'll tell you that much. But this is going to be a big opportunity for Jansen Gomez, who has the ability to start passing guard here. Batista kicks him back, utilizes the edge of the wall, but has to slide back down like it's Candyland. Now he's working from the guard again. He's got kind of butterflies on the stomach. Jansen almost had a pass here. He's trying to weave his leg outside of a half guard, or an open half, one might say. The pressure of that pit definitely does add something here. You know, you can utilize that to your advantage if you're used to it. Now, Jansen committing to playing from inside of that half guard. I like that a lot for him. Has an underhook. Will probably start working to advance. Very nice stuff here from Jansen Gomez. That'll be a big determination for him, I think, in this round. He'll definitely be able to make use of that while we're waiting for this match to continue, because I feel like we're going just a little bit here. What did you guys enjoy the most? I saw some of you put in the comment section some of the things that you enjoyed, but I would love to hear or see a photo of what you guys truly did enjoy from this event, because genuinely curious to see. And I've even seen Roberto tell me that he very much thought that ChatGPT was writing it. Jansen Gomez almost with a back take here underneath the neck. He has Batista in big problems, but Batista manages to get back to underneath side control. Not bad. Pins the arm down. Jansen once again looking to take the back here. Has a second chance in it, but Batista moving very well in this danger. But Batista stayed right up on top. I'm sorry, Jansen stayed right up at top. Now, again, underneath that arm, really nice stuff. Very controlled. I'm wondering if he gets it done in the second, but I actually think this one goes to decision. Might have seen it, might know who wins, but We're watching it right now because what else is there to do? Go to sleep? Sleep's for suckers, you guys. Dummies. Plus, I have to watch this. I have to talk about it tomorrow with Tim on another installment of the Bullpen, so I hope you guys will join us for that. That'll be in the afternoon tomorrow. Check that out with us. Gomez with some excellent pressure. You're seeing how much Batista is underneath and cringing. Very well done by him up top. Okay. 40 seconds left for Gomez to do something here, but for the most part, I like his composure. I like the way he maintains himself. Hey, if you guys are just watching right now, I'm skimming through some of this because I didn't watch it live. I made better choices, I think. And it said, I get the impression that they got called out for poaching PGF competitors, so they decided to poach IBJJF gi champions. Yeah. I don't know that I don't know that PGF necessarily sees it as poaching themselves because they did create a partnership together on this one. So, you're going to see at a future event the winner of the PGF in that bracket. You will see them. So Jet Thompson will be in UFC BJJ in the near future. So I don't think they care, bro. Having said that, I think the community was like, it's pretty easy to just watch the PGF and kind of make notes from there. Having said all that, I'm very excited for our friends at the PGF who got like a big gig. Like, understandably, this is a very big gig. There's no getting around it. Does it feel good all the time? No. Because, it's just kind of like sometimes you're watching this UFC. What's up, Julian? Good to see you, kid. I hope that you are doing well. Jasper, I see you. And this is why Jasper right now is sending me notes. I'm like, bro, I'm on air. I will talk to you guys in a minute. Very funny. That's how you can tell my students are like, Coach, what am I doing? Now it goes on Saturday. And I'm like, well, we'll talk, kids. Don't worry. 3:58 left to go in this match that looks like it's going to go to decisions. It says it's 5 a.m. Shout out from London. Not really informed about PGF. Oh my God, Roberto, before you even think about telling me it's 5 a.m. again, the PGF is the best. We are the official pre and post show for the PGF. It is a free product that you can check out at PGF World. So good. Cannot recommend it enough, Roberto. And you don't need to be super familiar with it because you're already familiar with some of their people. Some of those folks include Daniel Slather, Andy Varela. You've seen other folks. Chris Olivo, who competed tonight, has also been in the PGF. So there's going to be more and more invasion of those folks. They had a partnership where the winner of the PGF gets a slot in UFC BJJ. So you'll very soon be introduced to Jet Thompson. And that's a good person to get introduced to because that kid is young. He's all of like 20 years old. And he was the runner-up in the 6th season of the PGF to Andy Varela. And Andy just narrowly beat him in overtime. So PGF is one of those great markers for new talent. And it's not easy to get in because they've been upping the level. It originally started at Alabama. Incredible organization. Love them. Love BMAC. But in their 6th season, they blew up. They went to Vegas. That's when we first started getting involved. And the tier of talent that they had there was pretty top. And now they have a lot of interested young kids who have seen it. And there's nothing more heartwarming than some child coming up to you and saying, hey, I remember when I saw your interviews when I was a child. And I'm like, but you're still a child. Oh, God, I'm old. So there's been a lot of that. Landon Elmore said some very nice things. And if you don't know who he is, he was also a competitor, one of the top 8 season scorers of the season. He's under Kingsway, and he just won the most recent EBI. Consider it done. I will check it out. I mean, it's free. I feel like you have to. Okay. 1 minute left to go in this Jansen Gomez And Gustavo Batista match. I'm going to call it on this one. It was fun. I mean, they had enough energy to kind of keep me throughout most of the event, but is what it is. Even though it looked like in that second round, Gustavo was carrying part of it. Or I'm sorry, Andy was carrying part of it. It looks like in this one, Batista ended up getting the decision. Let me just double check here, make sure I'm right. So that likely meant that Batista won rounds 1 and 3. Oh no, Gomez won. Okay, great. There was a moment where I thought somehow Batista sealed that away. I was like, I know I'm skipping part of round 3, but if that is the case. Okay, so Mora, who's what you told me to watch out for. Here's why I'm a little sad. I like her. She's very good. But Alex Enriquez is a legit friend of the show and is super dope. We love Alex Enriquez. So I don't love seeing her get beat, but she's a gamer. Is what it is. And we are, again, flying through the card. So we're going as fast as humanly possible, I think. What's up, Tony? Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoy the broadcast. We are currently 1, 2, 3 matches away. Beautiful. Very close on being done here. Pull of guard by Alex Enriquez. Which, if I'm going off what you're saying here, is going to be bad news for her. It said Alex did her thing. Well, I like hearing that, Roberto. Alex is a very, very nice human being. We love her. Just about as cool as they get in the sport. And easy to work with. Easy to interview. Think the world of her. But Cassia Mora, yeah, I can see the feistiness on this. Can already see it. 343. Woo! Alex kind of goes for a wrestle up and they're back up on their feet. But Alex Enriquez opts to pull guard one more time. Mora, reading it nicely, does very effortlessly get past Alex Enriquez's guard. Alex, though, regards very nicely, but man, even Alex is like so on her shit. As she was looking to regard here, Cassia just almost looked at the back and wanted to take advantage of that. Good half guard passing here by Mora. 3 minutes left to go in round number 1. She's going to push down on the leg. Probably make a little bit of space here. So we talked a little bit about why this is a fun match for us, but Cassia Mora also somebody we have paid attention to, but I think that she is what we kind of want to see for this UFC BJJ. Like aggressive, doesn't stay in a position for too long if it's not giving her what she wants, already gets back up. Enriquez pretty game and is trying to press forward. And Cassia just beautiful with her timing. And man, Alex Enriquez going to regard as fast as she can, brings that like with a whip, that leg over. Frames on the arm, trying to get a good grip on it. Cassia staying here for just a second. Tries to advance. Alex using a knee shield to keep her at bay. 157. And it looked like right here, Cassia just nodded to her corner to let everybody know she did pick up a note. She will try to implement it. What I do appreciate about Alex Enriquez, we have seen her compete at some of the best events. Medusa, she's obviously an ADCC trials champ as well. Longtime friend of the show. Very cool, always game. And I think she's also good for UFC BJJ. I was really glad when she was getting that showcase position. I want to say on the Fight Pass Invitational spots which have now just kind of turned into UFC BJJ. But it was weird. I heard they were going to stay with the Fight Pass Invitational. Not really seeing any of that. And they did announce tonight that there's going to be a UFC BJJ 4 on December 11th. So they mentioned that William Tackett has a dance partner for that one. I think Jocko's daughter is on that one as well. I'll have to double check it. But the one that made me laugh the most was that Andrew Tackett, it just said TBA as his opponent. I didn't know you could do that. Like, if there's any indication that maybe just the UFC BJJ could do a little better job of scouting out talent, or maybe it came down to a deal that didn't get done, whatever it is, putting TBA at the top of the card, that's a lot riding on it. They get to the end of the first round. It's just that you have this showcase dude who's clearly a show pony and is your champion. And you've had this whole thing with Mikey Musumeci where he's been trying to justify that they keep getting top tier talent. And yes, a lot of the people on this card today are good individuals. The question is, how good are they at no-gi? Are they world class? And there's a few arguments to this because look, Casio right now, like a monster. But to get to a point where you don't have an opponent for one of your 3 champions, 4, if I'm counting, because Mason has one now. So let's say 3 or 4 champions, right? If you don't have I think it's 3. If you don't have somebody for one of your champions, what the hell are we doing? Because Carlos Enriquez has a belt. Mikey has a belt. Andrew Tackett has a belt. Mason has a belt. So yeah, it is 4 champions. It's just, why would you put TBA? Just literally say something else is the main event. But you know you have a marquee star, but you don't have a marquee opponent for him. That shit's wild. Let me see here. Another issue with the production is the lifetime Duolingo Portuguese translation. Oh my God. I don't even want to get into that one. They will have to wait to see who wins Nogi Pans to get Andrew's opponent. I betcha a box of popcorn, Roberto. You are a clever individual. We don't get as clever people normally in the comment section. Roberto, you got to come back more. I know you're on London time, but like, you need to schedule appointments to make sure you are live with us on this show. Good Lord. That's a great freaking prompt. You know, let me tell you why it's so good, Roberto. I'm mad I didn't think of it. That's how good that was. You might be 100% correct. Ooh, it makes me mad I didn't think of that one. Ooh. But I think you're right on the money. I think that's probably what it is. That's just like, maybe the UFC BJJ at this point can just be the stealing your homework name, where it's like, who'd you guys have as your champion? Yeah, okay. Yeah, we were thinking of that guy too. Yeah, for sure. We wrote it down on a piece of paper. We knew that guy. Yeah, he's like 1 pans or something. Just 1 pans. Yeah, we watched that for sure. On what is that other organization? We don't know what it's called. Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but that other organization. Yeah, we got it from that guy. Back take attempt here by Cassia Mora. Alex Enriquez in danger. Alex trying to fend off the arms. A little bit behind, but she's got 1 minute 17 left to work here. Cassia Mora. Very composed, very, very delicate in the timing. Like, she's not rushing any part of this. She's under the chin of Alex for a split second. Oh, no. Yeah, it's weird because I know who wins. But when you're watching something and they are a friend of the show, you still wish you could do something. Like, I want to be able to be like, no, don't let her do that. Like, Alex Enriquez really needs my coaching to know, don't get choked. Dummy ref. Come on. 30 seconds left to go in round number 2. Eek. Yeah, back under the chin. Alex fighting it out pretty well. 21 seconds. That's a good start, but she just might be short on time. It is weird because on some of these, I did look to see who... Well, I didn't look, but I saw it in my social media feed. But I didn't necessarily know how they won in some cases. So I just knew that was the case. But man, she put it on Alex. Big respect to Cassia in that round. And they said, yeah, I have it as a 10-9. Both rounds for Cassia is what they were saying on the commentary. That is correct. I mean, Alex is just operating a little bit slower and behind schedule here for Cassia, who pretty much winning this one. All right, let's fast forward this because I don't like seeing my friends lose. No disrespect, Cassia. I've seen what I needed to see. I'm going to move it all the way up to 2 minutes and 33 seconds. Here's the thing. If you know they're standing up and you can do it a couple times, ooh, almost fake out pull guard, then does a wrestle up. Alex Enriquez looks like she's going to play up top for just a second. And what a beautiful risk here by Cassia, who just gets back up and then is able to take part of the arms away and moves into side control. Wish I could. Alex Enriquez trying to play some guard here. They opt to stand back up. I have now advanced it where there is just 1 minute left of action here left to go. I mean, yeah, the whole moral of this story is Cassia's doing her thing. Ooh, gets a takedown with 50 seconds left to go. Damn, girl, that's pretty impressive. Most people aren't going to get a takedown with that short of time. When you're that exhausted after about 13 minutes of action, well done. All right. Ooh, nice. It's a pretty aggressive swat there by Cassia Mora. All right. Well, Cassia wins. We know that. They then announce Canuto, Madam Canuto, not Roberto, has a match coming up in December as well. Okay, we get some profile pic moments with Samuel Nagai, and this is now looking like we get to see Kennedy Marcial. Kennedy, of course, the son of Cobrinha. And this is getting close. Like, guys, we are just 2 matches. That's it. All we have are 2 matches. And I have done it in the main event, which I watched live. All in a minute or an hour and 8 seconds. Efficiency. Because I see it right here on the broadcast. It says that this was what? Like a 3-hour plus endeavor? We're going to get it done in half the time. And it said this is the best match of the event. Well, thank you. Now I'm excited for that. Kennedy Marcial is 28 years old. Jesus Christ. Time flies. I remember when he was just like 19. And Samuel Nagai is 25, both 5'7". And Nagai actually slightly undersized at 153.5 versus Kenny, who was right on the dot. So here's the good news about this, Roberto. The last time, a little bit of a difference of opinion here. So the difference of opinion for the post-presser was that they were criticizing Kennedy. And Kennedy comes right out of the gate with that criticism. Good on him, gets a takedown. They were basically, Claudio was essentially saying, like, if you are trying to call out somebody, even though you win, you have to have a better performance. And I thought that was a pretty admirable thing to do because most of the time the UFC just lies to you and says it's a great event, even when it's not. But Come to find out later in an interview that Mikey did, or the debate that he did with Craig Jones, that he didn't like that. And Claudia was actually reprimanded for that by the higher ups at the UFC. Which begs the question, why? Because, like, athletes can obviously get to call their shot, but that doesn't mean we have to accept it. And, woo, very nice work there. Yeah, the guy read that very nicely. The guy was under some duress there initially by Kenny Martial and didn't really falter at all. Now, a little game of mercy, 329, goes inside of the half guard that is open of Kenny Martial. Has an underhook on the leg, uses that to pass. Martial tries to grab on the arm, pulling him into a guard, or maybe whipping him up a little bit more. Samuel very composed. Very chill, but still can't get the arm back completely. And invites Kennedy to stand back up, who does now on this endeavor. 3 minutes are left to go in this first round of action. One hand of mercy, other hands, both club and dig initiated. Good attempt for a front headlock there by Kennedy. Kennedy pushes that elbow away from the collar tie. They reset back to it again. And then I love that in the corner you can see the power slap is going to be here. Did Paramount end up taking power slap, or is that going on YouTube as well? I can't even see where that's going. Is that just back on Rumble? And Roberto says, I don't want to comment on Claudia. Sure. It is kind of weird. I do get that. Having said that, though, I was in agreement. Just that last match with Kennedy was not good enough to call for a championship match. Woo! I love that sweep attempt by Samuel. Oh, that is pretty impressive. Was about to invert with a grip, looking to do a back take. Lets it go, goes straight into half guard. Incredibly flexible. But of course, when you're 25, you can do those things. So, children, when you get older, shit's not going to happen. Just going to let you guys know that. But for right now, do it. I can just see their medical bills rising as they do that. Yikes. Much more aggressive passing here by Kennedy Martial. Love that. Almost drags the leg with him, pummeling back and forth. Sees the back. Oh, nice little bump sweep up there by Samuel. Switch of positions. It was more how she said it. Samurai going to be a star. Yeah, you have two different thoughts here. Let's go with this. It's more to do with how she said it. Kind of, but like, if you notice, that's kind of how UFC brass talks at these things. It's just we normalize it with Dana because he owns the company. Or let's put it this way, he's the president of the company. But now has been given a lot more ownership. But for a long period of time, he was only a 10% owner. So he was essentially like a spokesperson that had some equity in the company. Now he has much more of a stake in the company, even though it is essentially owned by a conglomerate. And Samuel, with this Darce attempt, oh my God, squeezing the life out of Kennedy Martial. 6 seconds. He's not going to get it done in round one. But man, what a great attempt to close out that round. All right, Roberto, I'm seeing what you're putting together here. Let's move that forward. We're going to go to round number 2. And guess what? If you thought it was going to slow down, you would be wrong because they go right back to being savages with their movement. Freaking ass monsters, dude. Good for them. What's up, Adrian Segovia? Adrian, by the way, will be on an upcoming episode that is going to air. It is already free to everybody. So if you like what you see here and you want to see the interviews that I do, and I might pull one of the people from this event to do an interview with, go check me out, patreon.com/grappling hour. $5 a month. You can see 4 interviews per month with all these folks. And man, I like this over the shoulder crunch that Martial's trying to hit on Samuel, but Samuel's not committing to any forward movements so that he won't get bucked off. Grimacing ever so slightly, but he's not necessarily in any tense pressure. He just wants to be very careful, and he gets out of it with ease. Now, cupping on the legs, looking to kind of initiate some movement. He actually lets that momentum take him back a little bit, redirects the action back to more of the center of the bowl, and the two of them stand back up. 3:55 left to go in round number 2. In case you're wondering where we're at, this is Nagai and Martial. Their match, as Roberto had promised, was going to be the match of the evening, and you can kind of see it on this one. Really good reads by both of these young gentlemen. And although Nagai looks like a beast in that first round, I do like the way Kennedy is playing. Like, this is a much more aggressive version of him. Woo! Shugs him all the way down, can't get a front headlock. Nagai uses it as an opportunity to dart him forward to the edge of that bowl, and now starts with his passing. And Kennedy is not easy to bully like this. You do not see this often. Yeah, Samuel, you can tell, even though they're only, 2-3 years apart in the age difference, it feels like Samuel might as well be 20 years younger just in the way he's moving. That's not to say that Kennedy's slow. It's just I really do like the movement patterns that Samuel has. It is sharp because on a couple of those moments, Kennedy was actually initiating some of the takedowns or the movement and just got rerouted entirely by the speed of Samuel Nagai. Roberto, I should ask this. Were you a fan of Samuel before? Is this your first opportunity watching him go to bat, or are you coming in as a fan of him previously? Because I think that may determine what we can do. And it says Dana can do it because MMA guys are getting paid a lot more. So the concept is if they were getting paid more, we could treat them worse. A true capitalism problem here. I don't know. I mean, I think the idea is since we're already diet MMA, people feel like they can get away with doing it. The bigger answer with, oh God, Kennedy heard what I was saying and didn't like that I was giving Samuel so much credit. Pushes him forward, but Samuel gets this really deep looking guillotine that he loses as he pumps his legs down, and Kennedy felt it right away. Minute 30. It says, I saw him at Polaris Squads. Okay, cool. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're in London. So are you one of those rowdy people at Polaris? Because I've seen those crowds. They seem very unruly. And, I know what time you guys air. Doesn't matter if it's early or not. Y'all make good use of the concession stand, I guess is what I'd say. Nonetheless, looks like a very fun event. So, very happy that you get to see that. Or wait, were you there live or did you just watch? I'm not sure. And it says UFC BJJ rules. Caesar, what are you talking about? Good Lord. I think that Caesar showed up just to troll. Sir, you're drunk. You need to go home. Also, Caesar is the type of guy to show up in a chat section, but never to actually train. I love this from Roberto. A pint is a pint. You're not wrong, bro. Normally what I do on the show for Fight Companions is I will drink a beer and we do a toast to those who get finishes within regulation. I just didn't feel like drinking today. I know. I usually enjoy having a beer, but I felt like I would also get drunk faster since I'm fast forwarding everything. So I was like, oh, I'm going to get real buzzed super quick. So maybe not. All right. Those gentlemen exceed round number 2. I love the ice pack on the backs. That's a really nice feeling. They do that really well over in Japan in pro wrestling. The minute they finish with the match, they have somebody come over and put an ice pack on you. Love that. When we do I'm sorry, I almost called WWE BJJ UFC BJJ. My mistake. Because the UFC stole it from us. Because we called things WWE BJJ, which is the intersection of pro wrestling and jiu-jitsu. And the UFC kept threatening, we're going to do a jiu-jitsu event. We're going to do a jiu-jitsu event. I was like, cool, what are you going to call it? And they go, UFC BJJ. And I go, where have I heard that before? You guys have a ton of people working for you, and you came up with the same shit I came up with. Like, you have whole departments for naming and R&D that were no different than what I did. How dare you, sir? How dare you? Roberto Lopez. Now, see, this is why we're friends, Roberto. I want ECW BJJ. Can I be perfectly honest with you, Roberto? Whenever we do these WWE BJJ bits, I cannot tell you the amount of athletes that tell me they want to do one, but that they want to go through a table. And I'm like, no, sir, I don't know how that actually works. Also, looks like it's actually something that's going to hurt you. And they're like, nah, man, just put me through a table. It'll be fun. Kenny Marcial, once again, looks to dump Samuel Nagai, and this time he's got a very solid guillotine at the 3-minute mark. That is intense pressure on Kennedy Marcial, and Samuel very wisely uses it to kind of find his way to the top. Oh, he loses it in transition, but what a freaking attack there by Samuel. Woo! That was money. And Samuel's guard equally as good here. I like that Cesar just showed up for like a half second. Cesar, you need to come train, fam. You've been ducking me for too long. Roberto, bring the tables. In this economy, brother, I have like a 6-foot table that I bring with me. And when I started doing these events live at gyms, I think I bought a table for like $30 and maybe 35, 6-footer. Now that shit's running like $55, and I think, like, Jesus Christ. Even though some of these ones look like they're on their last legs, I'm like, nope, duct tape that shit up. Not buying another one. And then it made me think, I'm like, wait, people pay to go through tables right now? Kids? Like Buffalo Bills games? That's how they tailgate. They do. Ooh, wow. Samuel Nagai saw a foot just appear and manifest in thin air and thought, maybe I can turn this into a number of different things. He's attacking the foot like a toehold. He almost gave his back, but instead used it as an opportunity to stay up on top as a pinning predicament. Gets a cradle to go for it. 1 minute, 21 seconds left to go. This is when you're the most exhausted, and Samuel's still moving like a beast. Good Lord. Here's what I can tell you I'm going to do, Roberto, though. I'm going to send this footage. I'm going to tell my students to specifically watch the passing of Samuel Nagai. Like, not to, like, look, right now, 1 minute left to go. Kennedy has an armbar. If my students do that, they might give up the armbar. But Samuel is just so flowy with his speed. Like, he looks like he lulls you into something and then just easily gets out with no problems. Roberto, you were not lying. This is the best match of this whole thing. And there's only 38 seconds left to go. There's been 29, no less than 29 difference of positions here. Oh, Kennedy thought that he's got a heel hook here. And he's kind of using it as a threat, maybe to get some extra love from the judges. I just don't see it on that one. But yeah, Samuel Beast. 10 seconds left to go here. Not much left to say other than great work for both of these boys. That was actually a really fun one to go at and look. And the official decision shouldn't be anybody's surprise. Samuel gets it done. Oh, yeah. Ronaldo Jr. versus William Tackett. I do like that one. Okay, that should be fun. Yeah, this is when they do the title marker. This is so stupid. And they won't let me screenshot it. So, yeah, Andrew Tackett. So what? Hold on. What did they say about that? Let's try and hear what I need to know tomorrow when I go on the broadcast, because unfortunately I need to know things. And also disrespectful to Samuel. Samuel's somebody I actually want to hear from. I know it went the distance and maybe they don't have the time to give him on the microphone, but that dude deserves mic time. That was a fun ass match. Okay, so I think what they were mentioning with Andrew Tackett was that he was the winner of the first tournament in UFC BJJ history. Okay, got it. Tackett and Ronaldo for the middleweight championship. And oh god, that's what it was. Okay, so it's Wilnick and so Jocko's daughter versus Frank Mir's daughter. Wild, that sentence. And it's the other two matches nearly defeated my insomnia. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you tell me this because yeah, I'm just going to kind of fast forward through this one. Because here's the thing, Roberto, you're with me on this. We've got friends who probably want to get to sleep tonight. So we're going to kind of fast forward through this one. There's not too much to really worry about. Matthias Gabriel, who is good. He's definitely very IBJJF-y. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to kind of press the fast forward button a couple times and let's see where we're at. So right now I'm at 4 minutes, 12 seconds on the first round of the Mateus and the Henriquez match. They almost go out the bowl. Dean Thomas, I believe, was saying he was expecting, a pull of guard here. Tries a triangle attempt. Okay, no big. And then Carlos looking to attack the leg. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying here, Roberto. I've already fast forwarded a lot on this one. Let's try seeing what happens. Oh, I like the pummeling here, though. That looks pretty good. Carlos Enriquez. Yeah, okay. Oh, on that one, it looked like Mateus was looking on a front headlock. No big deal. You know what I'm going to do here tonight, Roberto? I'm just going to take your word. I'm fast forwarding through this just to be familiar with what I'm seeing here, but you're right. So, the UFC BJJ will get another rebrand, and if the gods are listening, another belt. I've heard on good authority they actually love the belt. They like somebody who is at least friendly enough with them saw a show that we did where I said how bad it looked. And they're like, dude, they love it. And I go, why? And also, who's they? Please allow me to send they a very strongly worded letter. All right, last round of this one. Really, all I'm looking for is just the information that tells me why Carlos Enriquez retained. So at least with Carlos, you have a homegrown where he did the series. He won based off of the series, and we got to know him a little bit better. There's that. Another footlock attempt here by Enriquez. Or is it Enrique? Sorry. I keep wanting to call him Enriquez, but that's just me. So Roberto, I don't know that it's like bore to tears level, but it's I got other things to do level we're fast forwarding. So yeah, I'm not gonna disparage these gentlemen. We've seen other UFC BJJ matches that were way more boring than this, by the way. Just want to point that out. Like, you know what I'm talking about. I don't have to raise my voice because you know they've had some really bad ones too. But we're rooting for them. It's just some boring. Like, UFC BJJ 1 was kind of boring. Attempted a crab ride. Leg is stuck. Tried to pass it over, doesn't get it. Looks for a slicer, doesn't get that. Rechambers, inverts, doesn't get anything. Gets back up. Barrels through. Now. Excuse me. Like the choke attempt there by Mateus, though. And it says, I concur, some of the other matches successfully put me to sleep. But you actually bring up a really good point. If the UFC was really smart, they would partner with a having trouble to sleep app. And they'd put, instead of the best of UFC BJJ, the not greatest hits. I think they would probably sell more than they would like memberships to watch UFC BJJ. Now listen, I say this as a big jiu-jitsu fan, but sometimes things are what they are in this world. So like I'm just saying, like, make money where you can. It used to be syndication. That's not going to work right now. So just sell it to an app and make some money off of that. Okay, I see the passing as being a big difference maker here for Carlos Enrique. And solid. Not hating on it. That looks good. Great head pressure here. Staying in that headquarters. Advancing the leg. Pummels it back. Mateus timed it well, but didn't quite make any use of it. There's a little bit of a body lock on the side that allows him to maintain in there. And it says, hey, they're so out of sync. They were partnering with Tylenol. Well, probably was a request from Mikey. It's just like, that was presented by Tylenol. Thank you, Mikey. Almost look for a back take. Doesn't get it. May settle for mount. 1 minute 17 left to go in this match. Yeah, I'll let this play all the way through. Mateus looking to regard here. If you're Enrique, you probably want to stay out of the guard. So it being open guard, a huge advantage for him. Now looking to continue passing, gets stuck back in the open guard again. Yeah, Mateus is able to whip very quickly back and forth. Use a great grip on the arm to kind of swing his legs back and forth. He's got good power on that swing, by the way. Carlos Enrique gets out pretty easily. Trying to control and win on the inside of the legs as he's pulling his arms through. Gabriel, very solid guard retention. Okay. You know what? I see why Carlos Enrique did retain. So that's kind of all the evidence I needed, really. Everything else kind of makes sense. All right. Well, I've seen what I needed to see. Ladies and gents, that's pretty much going to do it for us here today. So here's what I can tell you guys. One, UFC BJJ. Winner of the night, obviously, was that Samuel Nagai. Samuel, he's very good. Like that kid a lot. Additionally, for those of you guys who are watching, we thank you guys and appreciate you. And thank you for spending the 7-year anniversary of the Grappling Hour with us here tonight. I can promise you this, we are going to be doing this even more aggressively and more fun in the near future. We'll have a premiere date for season 8 in the near future. But until then, you can check me out, patreon.com/grappling hour. You want to join us back tomorrow live later in the afternoon, where we will be addressing not just this, but some of the biggest news in all of jiu-jitsu with my good friend Tim Freeman on another installment of The Bullpen. And then if you like us, I would love it if you like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It really does make a difference. and it means a lot. And if you want to check out this merch, you can head on over to rafaesparza.com/merch. Get you a hoodie, get you a t-shirt, and now get you a tank top. We're starting to sell tank tops right now. All right, friends, thank you again for joining us here tonight. We will see you back tomorrow. Roberto, you're the best. Very much appreciate you. I hope to see you back on our shows in the near future, brother. But on behalf of all of us here at the Grappling Hour, thank you for 7 great years. Here's to another 7. It's been a great day for Grappling.